Passing out the medicines. We've been on that rock star regimen, knowing that I'm heaven sent, higher than I ever been. I got a problem with.
So I'm just gonna go off the top of my head and tell you guys some players that I like, some players that I don't like, and we'll talk a little bit about fantasy football. So, a player that I like this week, at quarterback, I love Stafford. I think Stafford's gonna have a great game. I do remember clearly the three quarterbacks that I had. So I have Stafford having a good week for fantasy. I have Tannehill having a good week for fantasy, and then I also have Baker Mayfield. So Baker is playing against the Texans, and I don't know why he wasn't really projecting much this week. Like he was projecting like 16 points or something like that. And I don't know. I feel like he's probably gonna have a pretty damn good game. The Texans are pretty trash. So I like Baker to get off and have. Not me. I'm not saying he's gonna go off for no 30 ball, but he's gonna do a little something. Stafford, I've loved Matt Stafford since he came into the league. He's always had a cannon, dude. He can really sling that ball, and he's fine. I mean, he did have Calvin Johnson. What's that?
He can air that thing up.
No, he airs it out like he's out in Chirac or some shit. Like he's really out there with he's got two really solid receivers, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. None of them are like top tier, but they're both really good receivers. And then I feel like Darrell Henderson is a good running back. I feel like he might do a little something in the pass game this week. But let's move on to some. I'll tell you now. This is a running back that I'm sure he's already off of everybody's waiver wire because everybody probably picked him up. But that man Elijah Mitchell out in San Fran, they lost Monster. I don't know how long he's hurt. I think he's out for a few weeks. But Elijah Mitchell had like 19 carries for 100 and some yards, like 106, 107 yards. Ooh, and that's good. That's over 5 yards a carry. That's solid. The 49ers have been running the ball for years. They haven't been I don't know when the last time I could say that they've been a passing team was. Probably back in the Montana days. But I like the 49ers to run the ball. I like them to pound that shit today. Tomorrow. I feel like Elijah Mitchell is going to get off again, have a nice week. I also like at running back Kenyon Drake. I know that so Josh Jacobs is out. I know they're playing the Steelers, and the Steelers have a really good line, but it happens, like the odds are not great sometimes when you have a running back playing against a really good defense. The odds are not always great, but it does happen. Players, all it takes really is one big run. I try to explain that to people all the time. Like a player could have nothing going for him in fantasy all week, and then on the last drive of the game, he could break off for a 60-yard touchdown. And right there, that saves his whole fantasy week. That saves the team. Like it could happen. Kenyon Drake can't have one big play that does it for him. So I like Kenyon Drake this week. So I like Mitchell, Drake, and then I'm also gonna go with who was my other running back? Oh man, I'm losing it right now. Oh. All right, look, we're going to come back to the running backs. I'll tell you a receiver. I said it last week when I was on the podcast with Kevin. Devonte Smith playing against the 49ers. I think that he's going to be a really good receiver throughout his career, but I feel like this season he's going to have a great year. I feel like him and Hurts have that chemistry, that little connection. He's undersized, but he's quick. He's got good hands. He can run some routes. I feel like he's going to have a good week. And then I really like, I know that this is not anything crazy, but Thielen this week, I had him last week. He went off last week. I feel like Thielen is Justin Jefferson's supposed to be wide receiver number 1 out there, but Thielen's gonna throw a little competition his way. I mean, they're both gonna see their targets, but Thielen's gonna look like the number 1 receiver, I think, all year. I feel like he's gonna have a great season. He's been a good receiver since he came into the league. So I really like Thielen. This week, I can also say that I'm not sold on any of the Pittsburgh receivers. So if you have any of the Pittsburgh receivers in your lineup, Deontay Johnson, Juju, you got Claypool, I don't think any of them are a start this week. I don't know if any of them are going to be having a great season at all. So
irrelevant.
I don't really love them at receiver. I also just remembered the running back that I like is Devin Singletary. I feel like Devin Singletary, he came into the league. I thought he was going to be decent. He hasn't done much since he came into the league. He looked decent last week. I feel like this week he might have a good game against the Dolphins. That's another one of those where he's not going to go off for no 30 ball, but he could put up a little 100 yards and a touchdown, and I feel like that's all he needs to have to make fantasy owners happy. He's not a running back 2, not a running back 1, so he's a good flex play. Same with Drake and Elijah Mitchell. They're all – you could even put them at running back 2, but I have them all at my flex position. I think they're going to be good. And then someone I spoke on earlier at receiver is Brandon Cooks. He's their only option out there, man. It's him, and their second best option is David Johnson. So David Johnson is just he's not what he was on the Cardinals, and Brandon Cooks has really not slowed down his whole career. He's just a quiet producer, like he's not gonna put up those crazy games, but he'll like last week I think he had 5 catches for 132 yards or something. I'll be happy with that. He does that every week. I'll be happy with that. I'm not gonna complain if he puts up that kind of production. They're gonna have to put the ball in somebody's hands, and who else do they have out there? It's Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks and David Johnson. I like Brandon Cooks to have a good week again. I feel like if you have him on your team, he was a late round stash for me. I got him, I think, in every league in like the 10th round. So if you are one of those people that got Brandon Cooks, start him in your flex position. Honestly, you can start him about every week unless you have a much better option there. Start Brandon Cooks. I feel like this season he's going to show that he is probably like a tier 2 receiver, and he's really damn good. So I like Brandon Cooks to go off this week. And those are just some of the players that I have that could be sneaky good this week.
Nice, sneaky good. That's all you need.
Sneaky good.
Well, before you tell us the people that you hate this week and everything, I'm not gonna lie, you hit on every single receiver I had. Like I've been thinking about Devonte Smith. Devonte Smith is gonna ball. 49ers DBs are hurt. And when they played the Falcons early, he seemed like his favorite receiver. When the game was still close, Devonte Smith looked like Jalen Hurts' favorite receiver. DJ Moore, there's gonna be no Marshawn Lattimore for the Saints.
Right.
He's gonna have a nice little game. In his 2 games last year against the Saints, he had 5 catches, 100 yards, nice little 15 points. And another game, 4 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he has that potential maybe he just has it out for them when they play him in the division. At quarterback, I think Matt Ryan's gonna have a great game. Honestly, Dak was the only way Dak could beat them boys was through the air. The only way the Bucs can be beat is through the weak secondary. And then if you look at the running backs, I think Damian Harris playing the Jets. I think Bill Belichick just likes to run the ball, and Damian Harris got 20 carries, 100 yards against Miami. He just happened to fumble in the end, but I think he's gonna bounce back this week. Touchdown, 100 yards.
I like it.
Papa, I'm loving it.
Well, so like I said, I left my little list upstairs, so I don't have everything right in front of me to give you guys what you need. But I can tell you this. So at running back, we were talking about Derrick Henry earlier. Derrick Henry is not necessarily a sit-em, but
Ooh.
I'm not going to tell you guys who to start and who to sit, but I will say I don't love Derrick Henry to get off this week either. I know a lot of people picked him in the first 3-4 picks of the draft, and you're probably like, oh, he didn't do nothing this first week. I need him to get off the second week. But Bobby Wagner since he came in the league, has been probably the best middle linebacker in the league. Derrick Henry is going to have a tough time breaking off big runs, because the thing about Bobby Wagner is he's fast as shit. So it's like you're not really just going to break off big runs against him. Like he's going to hawk you down. So Derrick Henry, I'm just telling you, fantasy owners, now be prepared to not have that stupid game from him. He's probably not going to go for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I don't love Henry to do that. I know Kevin was talking about Henry. That's what they need. But I just don't.
if they do it, they might have a chance to win. They might be able to keep the clock down. I don't know. That might
I mean, look. I'll say this: if Henry, look, they're gonna be smart. Henry's not gonna go off for 26 carries for 80 yards. He'll go if they give him the ball enough. He'll do his thing. Like he'll get if they give him the ball 25 times, 20 sometimes, he's gonna run for 100 yards.
He's gonna break.
But he's not gonna look like 2,000-yard Derrick Henry that he was last year. He's not gonna be that this week. I love Bobby Wagner. I just don't see Henry being the man that you need for your fantasy week. So like I'm not telling you to sit him, and even if I did, y'all aren't gonna listen to me. But just don't be shocked when he doesn't go off for 24 points. Like that's all I'm saying.
Limit
For
expectations.
The expectations can't be too high. Also, I feel like that's going to be a shootout kind of game. Like I said that earlier. So I feel like it's going to be kind of close. They might have to throw the ball a good amount. And they're not going to be afraid to do that. They got AJ Brown and Julio out there. So I don't love Derrick Henry this week. Like I said, I'm not telling you to sit him. I'm not a huge fan of him this week. I also don't have him on my fantasy team and I'm playing against him. So I might be just psyching myself out trying to say that I hope he has that game. So another player that I don't love this week, not necessarily that I don't love him, but his injury status is kind of bothering me, and that's Deandre Swift. He had a great game. So my teams are weird, man. I have two teams that have Kyler Murray, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Devontae Adams on two of my teams. And then I only have four teams. I have two other teams that have Dak Prescott, DeAndre Swift, and it's just like I don't know how the hell I ended up with the same players on my teams. But DeAndre Swift, he had a good week last week, and I honestly have him a good year this year. I feel like he's going to be a solid player, maybe like a top 12 running back in the league. But I don't know. He's looking a little shaky. He's been questionable for the last like 3 days, and I used to be one of those people that didn't really care about injuries and fantasy football. I didn't care if I saw QTD. Oh, it didn't matter. I was starting him. If he's good, I'm starting him. Yeah. But injuries really do play a big factor into someone's role in the game. I mean, there's definitely been times where a player's been questionable or doubtful, and he's ended up fucking coming in and snapping for sure. It happens. But a lot of times when a player's questionable, the coaches are like, we don't want to work him too hard. You know, we don't want to injure him. He's DeAndre Swift. He's their running back. He's their star running back. They don't have shit really out there, so they might limit his touches. They also have Williams out there. He's got I think he had 17 touches last week, and Swift had 19. So they were kind of splitting touches anyways. And they're both questionable this week. So I don't know how I feel about DeAndre Swift. I don't know how I feel about Williams either. I feel like both of them are kind of looking banged up right now. So I actually have Swift on my bench because I'm not sold on him. And I don't want him to come into the game and not play as many snaps just because he's got a lingering injury. I don't want to risk that. So I actually benched DeAndre Swift this week. That could be tough. I could end up paying for that. It's fantasy football. It happens. I'm not expecting to be 100% right all the time, but I don't love DeAndre Swift this week just because he does have that little injury designation. So I'm not sure how he's going to do. Another player that I'm not 100% sold on this week is Calvin Ridley. I know you don't like that because he's their top dog, but
no, the corners ain't like that, kid. The
Bucks corners, whether we like it or not. Jamel Dean, I think since 2019 had like the lowest catch rate in the league. And that's Jamel Dean is not a big name corner, you know, but he really had like the lowest catch rate in the league, and Carlton Davis had like the most pass deflections in the league over the last couple seasons. Like our corners they're not Jalen Ramsey, they're not Marcus Peters, they're not Marshawn Lattimore, they're not Xavier Howard. I know that, but I didn't say Xavier Howard. I gave you your A. We said at the same time.
Or Byron Jones.
But they are good enough. They are good enough. I mean, look, they won the Super Bowl last year. Their players are obviously good enough to get the job done.
Corners, though. That's playoff corners we talking about. That was a whole different defense.
Well, look, if a player plays better in the playoffs then I feel like he's decent in the regular season too.
Not
Calvin
Eli
Ridley's
Manning.
That man is different. We're not gonna talk on that. We're not gonna talk on that. But,
Continue.
so Calvin Ridley, I'm not saying he's gonna have a Brandon Ayuk game, but he might have a Devonte Adams kind of game where he's gonna have like 5 catches, 50 yards. He might put up like 10 points, 11 points. But if you're looking for Calvin Ridley, if it's a close week and you need Calvin Ridley, you're probably not gonna look too happy at the end of the day because
that man down there is lying. Calvin Ridley snap.
Down here, that dirty bird.
No, that's that. Mr. Fox is lying. Calvin Ridley is gonna snap this week.
What about Kyle Pitts, though? I want to hear, after you know what you're saying, Paul, I want to hear about Kyle Pitts.
I was just gonna say, on a side note, on a prop bet, I have Calvin Ridley. I'm guaranteeing will score a touchdown this week, and it's even odds. They're giving me more money than I'm betting on that should be a guarantee. Calvin Ridley scored this week.
Okay, I mean,
but
I like Calvin Ridley. I don't love him this week though.
All right, man. So we're gonna just go ahead and close the foxhole. Just put some dirt on that guy. We don't know that guy anymore.
Man, that's crazy. They ostracized me after I tell the truth. That's crazy.
Oh man, you just like Kanye.
Man, hell yeah, I'm a narcissist, baby.
Hey, man, you got anything else for us, dog?
I'm all good, man. I'm just excited to come back next week and show y'all how right I was about everything. I'm just excited.
What's the score of the Bucks and Falcons game? Hey, you gotta say 12. Not getting
38-20.
38-20. I don't know, man. I like us to put some points on the board, man.
38-23. There you go.
You might not get your.
We got an extra field goal in there for you. We got Young Ho Koo gonna get his.
That boy, dumb Koo. I'll tell you now. He's gonna get his.
Let's see. We gotta see what the play call in the red zone look like. But with Jalen Mayfield, we'll see if he can have a bounce back. I won't blame him if he doesn't, but we'll see if he can.
Got a problem with being problematic. Get the light beam on me ready for electrostatic. Don't you step into this box if you're not batting. Then my gang got tools. You could call them boy crap, man. This gang got rules, man. You better watch your passes. This ain't